Hello, we're going to review the strategic plan. How do you get to where you want to go for Premier RX and your Direct RX? So this talking about financially. What do you need? What do you want? And what would be great financially? We want to make sure that we're giving you a plan and a direction to get exactly where you want to go. And we're going to help a lot of people on our way to get there. So everyone is a little different on what their goals are financially. So we're going to give you a plan of signing and helping 10,000 people in 90 days and what needs to happen to achieve this goal. Now, by doing so, this will put you in the top 2% of income earners in the United States. So we figure this is a good plan to get there where you want to go as far as the financial side. If you're more or less, obviously tier these up according to whatever would meet your goals and your objectives. Now, who do you know? This is very important. This is not something that you're thinking about going after and cold calling first. That stuff we'll talk about down the road. But the very first thing you should do is go through your phone and go through your emails. Make a list, right? Make a detailed list of a spreadsheet of every person in your phone and every person in your email. And the number one mistake a lot of people make is prejudging. Well, they may not be interested, or they're not make sure this, or this might not be a fit for them. Listen, the majority of people in America, someone they know or someone themselves is taking prescription medication. So give them the opportunity. Do not prejudge them. Also be detailed on something that you can keep running a daily total of no matter where they're at. So have a spreadsheet. So if you have a Google Share Doc or something that you can track this different activity, so you can log those visits so you can keep track of where everybody's going as you're moving through this process. Now, this may sound pretty basic, but by having a plan, it's going to give you an opportunity to make sure you can get to where you need to go. So our ideal customer profile, right? Anyone who has employers that have offer benefits, self-employees funds are very good, companies that don't offer any medical benefits, any company or membership that you may have a relationship, right? Again, do not prejudge. There's numerous different opportunities. And the other thing is going to be too is as you go through your phone and your emails, also when you're out in your daily life, think about, hey, who else can I talk to as far as these situations to offer them this opportunity? And again, you're helping lots of people, so it's well worth the opportunity to do so. So what we're going to review is a 90-day strategic plan for you. What needs to happen weekly, monthly, and within the 90 days to get you where you need to go. Again, this plan is to get you to 10,000 people that you've submitted into the program, whether this is through the employee program, through Premier RX, or through the individual program through your Direct RX. So everything we will focus on is persistence and follow-up. That's the only way you're going to get to where you need to go. So let's talk about weekly. What do you need to do every week to get you as far as this goal and objective? Now, again, breaking these things down into small pieces is how you're going to get to where you need to go. So you should be able to talk to 15 people about Premier RX per week. All right, this is Premier RX or through your Direct RX, 15 people to talk to per week. Now, that's not that many. That's a couple a day, right? When you go through your list of your phone and your email, you may be surprised on how many people you know. 50 email messages to send to people on your list. We offer you templates. Take a look at which template you'd like. You can do this on emails, or you can do this on LinkedIn. You can target different companies. You can go after people that you have on your list. You can strictly ask for lead sources. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. A lead source is anyone you know that may know people. All right. So for example, if you're going after and talking to someone that, their sister is in HR, right? They would be a great lead source. They're going to know several people, or you know somebody who's an insurance agent, right? Who else they may know who deals with insurance. Those are lead sources. People can bring you additional leads from who they are. The other thing is going to be your objective. You want to do 3 meetings per week that's set with a presentation for a client with us, right? So set them up. You can book them on the schedule that you've shown. By now, you should have already went through the 3 previous videos reviewing who we are and talking a little bit about frequently asked questions and who to actually target. Those you should have been through all those. So when you get a person who's interested in what we're doing, you should be able to schedule at least 3 of these meetings a week with us to help close that business for you. And again, this is not something where you need to sell, you need to get them all closed. We are here for you. The whole objective is for you to get people to raise their hand enough to book them an appointment with us and allow us to close that business for you. The other thing that's pretty important is to attend our weekly calls. You get the information on our weekly calls. They're not horribly long. They're very to the point to make sure you're up to speed with whatever else we might be going on within the company. So looking at this, We talked about weekly, right? So monthly, what does that mean? Monthly means that you're talking to at least 60 people about Premier RX, all right? So 60 people that you've talked to. So you have your 15 per week equals your 60 people, at least 200 emails being sent out. Now, a lot of you, emails are free, and this 200, you probably could have done that in a day, right? It's not that difficult to do so when you have these lists. You're set at least 12 meetings per month with us doing a presentation, but that's only one every other day per se, right? Attending the weekly meetings, not a big deal, and find at least 12 new lead sources. Now, a lot of you, I know you're saying, listen, this is not that difficult to do. We'll knock this out ahead of time. The biggest thing is going to be for you guys to stay on purpose and stay on task with whatever items that you're doing. And to reach your objective, you should close 3 to 4 business accounts a month, right? The other thing that's pretty important is when you're going through these leads and going through these talking of people, you want to try to get 2 large multi-groups, right? These are either reps or locations. So for example, maybe you know someone who has a company that's got a bunch of reps underneath them, right? Or maybe you got someone who's a multi-location company that maybe someone to go and talk to. And again, just because, you know, one thing you want to make sure that you're not prejudging them on is you don't ever know who they know. So I can't say that enough. You don't know who they know, so don't be afraid to ask them about that. A lot of times too, that we've had when you start talking to your list of people that you know on your phone or email, you'd be surprised who else they may know. And simply by asking that question, if either they don't have someone that's interested, that's always a great follow-up with them. So you talk to, let's say you talk to Josh, right? You talk to Josh and you say, hey, Josh, you know, this is something we're doing right now. I want to know if, you know, you're interested in possibly taking a look at this. And he said, well, you know, it's really not a fit for me. That's fine. I completely understand. Who else do you know? Who else do you know that owns companies? Who else do you know that has people that may benefit from what we're talking about? And then do one of the most important things in sales. Shut your mouth and listen to what they have to say, right? A lot of times people, especially salespeople, go and butt in when people are trying to give feedback for information. So listen to what they have to say. You never know who they're going to know. The other thing is this, when you make these lists and make these items as far as a follow-up and you're documenting these visits or these contacts that you're having with them, don't be afraid to go back after them. Most sales cycles takes you 5 to 7 times to get someone to raise their hand enough to do a meeting, to do an objective. Now, I'm not talking about bombarding your people on your personal contact list or your emails that you have over and over again, but those that may have interest or those that you're sending out different items on, you want to keep them top of mind as far as what you're working on and what you're working on doing. Now, by following our weekly goals and our monthly goals, that gets you here at 90 days. All right. You'll have over 180 people you talk to about what we're doing. You've sent over 600 emails. You've had over 36 meetings with us. You've attended the weekly calls. You have 36 new lead sources. You've closed 9 to 12 accounts, and you have a minimum of 6 large multi-groups. Now, if you start with this, where you're going to, it may seem overwhelming. But by breaking these down into smaller segments or smaller bites per se, it allows you to achieve much larger groups, much larger numbers to get you where you need to go. And it's only 90 days, right? It's not a long period of time to try to get you where you need to go. So what is the secret of why some people are so much more successful than others in sales? What is it? What is it all about? And a lot of times it comes down to this. They break these down into daily or even half a day goals and items to reach where they need to go. So what does that mean? When we talked in there originally, we talked about weekly, right? We talked about, hey, guess what? If I, reach my goals, this is what I need to do every week to get where we need to go. Okay, so you talk about 15 people that you're going to talk about Premier RX or your direct RX per week to get you where you need to go. And again, those are what led into those 90-day goals that we're talking about, the emails, the meetings, so on and so forth. What if you broke those down? Okay, you have 5 days during the week. I'm just talking about weekly goals. You can talk about 7 days if you want, but you talk about just during the week. What if your goal and objective is you want to reach out to 3 by lunch, right? In that day, I want to reach out to 3 people in lunch. I'm working out 3 in the afternoon. It's not that many people, right? You just doubled your output of what you're going to do, right? Or guess what? I'm going to get these together at night. I'm going to take an hour. I'm going to focus on knocking out these emails, right? I'm going to make sure that twice a week, I go and knock out so many emails. You have the templates. All you have to do is copy and put in your emails as far as your follow-up goes. right? What if it's as far as lead sources go? I'm going to make sure that these lead sources I talk to, I'm going to see who else they know. My background's in healthcare. I'm going to give you a little example. Let's say, for example, you're going to a healthcare office and you want to try to meet other healthcare providers or businesses, so on and so forth, and you reach out to a pharmaceutical rep. All right. Now, why would you want to talk to a pharmaceutical rep? Because a pharmaceutical rep is who calls on all these doctors' offices, right? So you may talk to one or two pharmaceutical reps that may know literally hundreds of doctors in that marketplace. Now, your lead source, this pharmaceutical rep, just gave you the inside track to a ton of different people in that area. Let's say you portray it and put it in the pharmaceutical world, right? Same thing. Obviously, healthcare could be a good fit for those offices, those doctors' offices, but maybe you're talking about restaurants, or maybe you're talking about unions, or maybe you talk about vendors who call on, put the specialty or put the business in there. Talking to those people who call on a lot of these different areas, you just increase your opportunity and your resource as a lead source to numerous more people, right? So just think about these items as you're breaking those down. Break down your week into days or half days. It allows you much smaller bites to get to where you need to go to reach those goals and objectives. And of everything you're dealing with, stay focused, stay persistent, and stay on purpose. The reason that this strategic planning session we're giving you at all is because a lot of people don't know either, hey, where do I get started at? Or B, what can I do to help keep me on purpose to get me to where we need to go? And the whole purpose of this strategic planning session is to give you guys a plan, to give you a roadmap to get you to where you need to go. The biggest thing that I say is that if you have questions or you're not sure, please make sure you reach out. We do appreciate your time today. We look forward to working with you and helping you build the business of your dreams.